I was wrong.
It's close.
What are we gonna go do right now?
Get candy.
We're gonna get candy. And where are we gonna get candy? The Mormon church.
Mormon church.
Y'all wet?
Was it fun? Yeah.
Hey, baby. All right, Shell. What time is it right now?
7 to 8.
7 to 8 on a Saturday night. So we just finished setting up here. This is what it's gonna look like. And Chelsea is gonna come tomorrow morning and set up the food, right, Chel?
Yeah. Some snacks.
I did not know she was gonna do this until about 2 minutes ago. She's ready. This is where it's gonna go down. I was intending on documenting this entire process, having some B-roll of people having dialogue and going through the workshop, but I ended up not having time to do any of that because the last 12 hours have just been insane. Well, I am super tired right now. I'm exhausted. So this is me signing out for today, and I'll update you guys on how I feel the whole thing went in the next segment of this video. I've been giving a lot of thought to what I said in my first video, and I now realize that the value that I put on what was being asked of me was based on how I felt. I was feeling frustrated, I was feeling lonely, I was feeling confused, and because I was feeling that way, I put a low value on what was being asked of me. But you know, after I made that video, I doubled down to try to understand the workshop, and I did. And as I was starting to understand what was expected of me, all of a sudden I started to see the value, but it really wasn't until I did the workshop, which just happened yesterday, that not only do I fully understand what was being asked of me now, but now I fully understand the value in actually doing it. But something that I noticed as we were doing the workshop is that people weren't really focusing on looking inward, they were more focused on looking outward. So here is a problem that I have identified in our community, which is that we don't have young families. But eventually we got to this activity called the 5 whys, where you present the problem and then you ask people, why is this true? And then you dig 5 layers deep. Well, why is this true? Okay, now why is that true? And why is that true? Now why is that true? And what was so interesting about this activity is that people began this activity by looking outside of themselves. Like the reason this problem is true is because people don't recognize their need for a savior. It is because people aren't willing to speak the truth. And as they went deeper into the onion, per se, as we peeled the layers of the onion, it got deep. It got real. The only word I can really use to describe it is cathartic. I realized that why people were looking outside of themselves. And the reason they were looking outside of themselves was because they saw what was happening outside of themselves somewhat also happening inside of themselves. And that was a huge revelation. The workshop went better than I could have imagined, and it opened my eyes to really see the value of what I'm working towards. We didn't come up with solutions because, that's next semester. That is something that I'm going to work on as I work on my dissertation and my project. But if what I am becoming a doctor in is identifying the real problem, the heart of a problem, and learning how to address it, then that is super valuable. This is a PNW rain for you guys. Oh, it's cooling down. It is really cooling down. Okay, I promise you guys, before I hit record, when I say it was pouring, it was pouring. And it's interesting because when I was working towards this workshop, I thought to myself, I just can't wait till this is over. But once it was over, I thought to myself, I want to do this again. I want to do it with my other church. In fact, I want to grab a whole new group of people from this same church and do it again. And the reason this is exciting is because it made me realize that if it's facilitated correctly, it is possible to get people to look deeper. And if you can get people to look deeper, you can actually begin change. Because all of a sudden the problem is not just out there. People understand themselves, and by understanding themselves, they can see the things that they need to change in order for this community to change. I mean, of course, I still have a long way to go, and my next step is now to interview 3 more church members, and then next semester we're getting into the academic stuff. And this morning we had our cohort gathering. A few times a semester our cohort gets together to talk about how our projects are going, and it was just, honestly, it was a great conversation, hearing how God is leading in everybody's lives, and just this feeling of camaraderie of going through the project together. It was awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. So crazy how just one video can completely change your perspective on what you're doing. See you guys in the next episode.